Welcome to Crying Out Cloud, the podcast that will make you laugh, cry, and reconsider all of your cloud security fears. I'm Eden from the CTO team at Wiz, and I'm here with my amazing co-host, Amitai, and a very, very special guest today, Shir Tamari. Earlier today, Wiz Research published their findings from a security audit of Hugging Face Hub, which is an online platform for hosting AI models, datasets, and web apps. It's a super popular platform for hosting AI models. And the issue that Shir and a researcher from his team, Sagi Sadiq, found would have allowed any attacker to access any Hugging Face customer's private data if they so chose. And we are really lucky we get to have Shir on with us today. Shir is the head of research at Wiz. He is one of our favorite people. And so we're super, super happy he's here. Shir and his team are world-class security researchers. They've previously disclosed vulnerabilities in Azure, AWS, GCP, Alibaba Cloud, IBM Cloud, and more. So Shir, welcome.
Yes, thank you, Eden. I'm very happy to be here.
We're so happy you're here. Will you tell us in detail what you found and how you found it?
Yes, of course. So recently, my team, we started investigating in AI service providers and try to map potential risks that could affect AI service providers. And specifically in this research, we had the idea of crafting and weaponizing an AI model and uploading it to one of the AI service providers and to see what would happen. I mean, what would happen if we will take malicious code, like put our own code inside the model, upload it to the service and see if we can execute code there and maybe perform to use it as an infiltration technique into the internal network. And in Hugging Face, we took a model, the ChatGPT. It's not GPT. It's I think it's a GPT-2, the open source model. We weaponized it with our own code, and we uploaded it to the service to run it on their infrastructure. And from there, we were able to get a reverse shell, escape the container, and eventually gaining very high privileges inside the internal infrastructure. So it could have allowed us to access secrets, to perform lateral movement, and potentially access other data of other customers or the service itself.
That's really crazy. If I were listening to this for the first time and I was a Hugging Face customer, I would ask you, what should I do?
Okay, so first we collaborated with Hugging Face on all of our findings. They took very quick response and they fixed everything. So customers don't have to do anything. Hugging Face isolated, they improved their isolations and security barriers inside their internal infrastructure. So it would be safe for customers to execute their models there without the risk to the underlying infrastructure. So customers, there is no action needed by customers. But I want to say that it's very important for other service providers or any other organization or company that allow third parties or external users to upload their own models, untrusted AI models to their platform. They need to be very cautious because AI models are practically code. A lot of model formats, for example, like Pickle, that is used by PyTorch, could contain malicious code inside, and companies like service providers or anyone who run those models need to be very vigilant to see if those models are safe to run, and also to support it with a very isolated environment. So if I upload my a malicious model to a service provider, it wouldn't be possible for me to escape the isolation to get access to other customers' data or internal service APIs. Usually this is done by using isolation techniques like containers, virtual machines, also projects like gvisor. So this is the recommended action for service providers and also other organization companies that execute models from third parties.
So basically, companies should be treating AI models just as though they were code, And just like you wouldn't allow a customer to freely run code within your product's environment, you shouldn't be running AI models without any restrictions as well.
Yes, exactly. So this is the
And
right, yeah.
And you also probably shouldn't be letting them put pickles into your environment as well, because then it'll be
Yeah,
stinky and not everybody likes pickles.
yeah. I like pickles.
I think I've never met someone who doesn't like pickles, but I didn't used to like pickles when I was a kid. Oh, Eden doesn't like pickles. Eden doesn't like pickles.
Okay, Shir.
Yes.
I think one of the things this kind of brings to light is that we're all so eager to like adopt AI models and AI everything, but it kind of gives a moment of hesitation into like the power, the pervasive power around them. So if you were to give your words of wisdom both to AI users, people that are developing with new AI models, like what would you say are like just the main things that everyone should be very aware of in the direction that we're going?
Well, it's a good answer, and it's also a very wide and general. So as we see AI adoption, I mean, we are really at the beginning, and there are so many ways to develop AI applications, and it's mostly dependent on the application. For example, applications that is like a chat that provides knowledge to people. So the potential risk would be data leakage or malinformation, misinformation. So each application security should be evaluated differently. It really depends on the application. In our previous research, we saw that during the development of applications, we see some issues that could occur that are very similar to issues that we are aware of, like from, like, let's say, pre-ChatGPT or pre-AI era, where AI researchers, the data scientists, they work with a lot of data. They share their data. How do they protect it? I mean, imagine that you have a unit in your organization that sits on a lot of data. Sometimes it's very sensitive data, like your customers' data, and they share it with other divisions in the organization, sometimes externally with third parties. Just in August, we published a blog post about how AI researcher in Microsoft, in attempt to share their models with the open source community, mistakenly shared 38 terabytes of computer backups. So it started, like, the security for AI pipelines and AI systems starts from the beginning, from the researchers, developers, scientists, to the like the let's say that, like, the training infrastructure, and to the deployment phase, and also to AI services that provide you the inference, like cloud providers or Hugging Face or Replicate or other vendors who provide those. So each one of them has different aspects, and it's very, I mean, and also because everything is new and there is so much new technologies, it's very important to assess every new technology you embrace and see what could be, like, to assess what could be the potential risk here. And mostly the risk is, like, it's a risk that we're already familiar with from previous, for example, that data leakage is not new. Consuming AI models from third party, we already familiar with supply chain, with the potential supply chain risk when we use third party open source libraries, or so AI models that we bring from like we bring from third parties or untrusted sources also should be validated. We need to trust the author, and so on.
I do feel that, like, it's kind of like you shouldn't blame an employee for clicking on a phishing link, for example. Like, that you need to have a robust enough infrastructure to make sure that the damage from that is limited. So, like, in the same vein, I'd say, you shouldn't blame a data scientist for for downloading a model. Like, the infrastructure should be strong enough that shouldn't matter.
Exactly. Data scientists should have a safe way to share data. They need to share data. Also, they want to consume models, so you need to provide them, like, safe models to consume. Definitely. I mean, we really want to work fast, and the AI growth is it's like amazingly fast, and we don't want to slow it down by security. So let the AI people run and support them with the utilities they need. And yeah, we need to we need to run fast and not break everything.
Like my kid in the background. That's what I tell him every day.
Amazing. Shir, thank you. I feel often very grateful that you and your team are doing the work you do, because I think it just makes our cloud a safer place and bringing so much light to very important things. So we are very grateful. Also for having you on so everyone could hear more about your guys' amazing work. I will also add that there is a Wiz blog if you would like to read more and more detail. And as always, we keep you up to date with everything that's happening in the cloud. So thank you. That's all for this episode of Crying Out Cloud, presented by the cloud security company Wiz. If you enjoyed the show, be sure to subscribe and share a link to the podcast, but not your cloud keys. And as always, if your cloud security strategy is making you cry, don't worry, just cry out cloud.